You don't spend a year of your life to beat somebody. Isn't good enough motivation, at least for me. I did it because I love skiing and I wanted to see if I could ski as much as I could possibly fathom in a year. In 2016, I started January 1st and skied 2.5 million human-powered vertical feet in a calendar year. Somebody did the math once on Everest from base camp, and it's like 260 something Everest from base camp. My name is Aaron Rice, and I have a day job, but more than anything, I'm a skier. In high school, I started racing, and I was at Neshoba 5 days a week, and then as soon as we could drive, I was driving up to Vermont or Maine every weekend, trying to ski as much as I could. And then looking at colleges, I knew I needed to be in the mountains. So Vermont was one of my top choices, and came to UVM and got into their backcountry ski program through the outing club, and just started going as much as I could. Every morning before class, we'd go and skin up at 4:30 in the morning and ski down and be at class at 9. After graduating UVM, I was looking for jobs all over, some in Vermont, some out west, and so I kind of on a whim had heard that you could go to Alta, and so I applied to a job at some lodge there and got it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to Alta. I'll do that for a year and then I'll get a real job. So I'm out there, it's amazing. I don't get a real job. I end up spending 3 seasons out there. So after year 3, I kind of was like thinking, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go back to school, get a grad degree? Am I gonna try to get a job? And I had been skiing a ton of backcountry. I was skiing 700,000 feet a year at that point. Greg Hill, in 2010, he skied 2 million vertical feet in that calendar year. And I had this idea in the back of my head that, oh, maybe I could go for this record, and decided to go for this goal. I was like, right now's the time, I'm never gonna do it if I don't do it now. I had completely pared my life down to the bare minimum. I had no responsibilities. It's not like I was building these meaningful relationships with people. I had tons of touring partners all over the world, but you also aren't going over to their house for dinner afterwards, or you're not hanging out with them in any other context. The kind of mental, emotional challenge was hard, and just trying to figure out why I was there, all by myself every day. Maybe Friday evening I could convince some friends to go hike up some random little line for sunset, but I would have to be out there all day before them and then meet up with them in the afternoon. I now hold the record for skiing the most human-powered vertical feet in a calendar year. That Westward mentality of seeking bigger and more expansive and grand things wasn't necessary for me quite as much anymore. And so finding a middle ground, for me, having the mountains but also having more of the community and being able to put roots down and being close to my family was great. Now here, on a rainy day, I can invite all my friends over and we can make dinner, or on a snowy day, we're gonna go skiing, and it's great. For me, that feels much more natural and makes me feel more fulfilled overall. If I want to have a better balance, for me, that the place I've seen that the most and the best is in New England. I grew up here, so that's a huge part of it. The East Coast skiing community is a wild community, and they have strong opinions, and they will let you know them. And it's fantastic sometimes, and sometimes it wears on you. So when it's great is when the snow is terrible, but you still need to get outside. That's when the East Coast community shines, right? You go to the Stowe parking lot and it snowed 4 inches, and you get there at 6 a.m. and you're the 100th car in the parking lot. And that is wild. And it's why I moved to Stowe and live in a little A-frame in the woods with a mediocre view of the mountains. There's just something about being in the mountains that I don't get anywhere else, and something about being in the mountains and being able to walk uphill and ski downhill and travel through the mountains efficiently is just an incredibly special and peaceful and therapeutic way of living. And so it's that the idea that where we are really matters, that it wouldn't be the same if we picked up all the people and moved somewhere.